Hi and welcome. In this lesson, I'm going to give you a quick overview of the developer environment and the different applications that I'm going to be using and resources that I'm going to be using in order to deliver the upcoming lessons. So first of all, you're going to need an editor in order to write the code. The code that I'm going to be writing is going to be written within brackets. So as well, if you already have an editor, feel free to use that. If you don't have an editor, or if you want to try the same one that I'm using, you can go over to brackets.io, download it. It's a free open source text editor. It's an Adobe product and it's a pretty good editor. So if you're looking for one to try, go ahead, check that out. Another resource that you're going to need is a Google account. And that's only if you want to be able to create your own spreadsheet, because the data that we're generating and the quiz content is coming from a spreadsheet. So we're going to set up a spreadsheet using Google Scripts and output it as an API that you can pick up and use and bring into the application to generate our content. So that API is going to be available from the web app of Google Script, and you can use the one that I've created, or you can create your own. And if you want to use the same one, so you can see that this is the data that's coming from the Google spreadsheet. So if I update any of the data here, it's going to also be reflected within the endpoint of the API. So we're going to be making a fetch request to pick up the data from the spreadsheet, and I'll also show you how to set that up within your Google script in order to output your own spreadsheet data. So you are going to need a Google account if you want to create your own spreadsheet, or if you want to use mine, you won't need a Google account. And then besides that, we're also going to be using Chrome as the browser of choice. And Chrome comes with developer tools that you can open up and inspect. And it opens up the developer console. So we're going to be communicating information from our application into the browser and using mainly console log to output that in the browser, so we can see what's happening with our data before we're outputting it within the visible page. The structure of the course is going to be predominantly with the editor opened on the left-hand side. So this is brackets that I've got open, and I've got a blank folder called quiz where we're going to be creating all of the files. So we're going to create an index file with a little bit of HTML and a little bit of CSS within a CSS file, and then focusing on JavaScript, of course, because I know that's what you're here for. So we're going to be writing all of the code and generating all of the output using predominantly JavaScript. So we're going to minimize the HTML and CSS in the upcoming lessons as well. I'm going to be using brackets live preview, and of course you can open up your file, your index file in the browser as well, and it will render the code out. So for live preview, you do need an index file. So when I create the index file, I'm going to open it up as a live preview, and then that's going to be opened on the right-hand side in a minimized window, and we're going to have our console opened at the bottom, and all of the code is going to be visible within the display area of the browser. So once you're set up, and I do suggest that you follow along with the lessons, I am going to issue you challenges throughout the lessons. Try the source code. Source code is also included. Run it within the browser, get familiar with it, and get comfortable with what's happening and how the code is being presented. So once you're set up and ready to go, you're ready to move on to the next lesson, where we're going to structure the HTML and add a little bit of CSS, and then we're going to dive right into the JavaScript.